I'm going to say this right here. And this is just, the hood in me. When you are hell-bent on making sure that a person has one way of thinking, meaning in fear, the problem is, instead of the police focusing all of their resources on making sure black people are afraid of them, because believe it right now, where we stand today, if the police was to stop me when I leave here, it's always the first thing pops in my fucking mind is this motherfucker gonna be straight?
Now
I can look at his Opie Taylor and Andy Griffin looking at him walking to the car.
Would you feel differently if I was sitting in the passenger seat with you?
Police officer. I would believe if you are sitting with me.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of degree the police is, especially once he knows that you are really my friend.
You think he'll look at you a little differently?
He's going to have to address the law in a more proper manner, because he knows if you go speaking on my behalf, you could possibly, fuck him off, even though his initial intentions were to be a dick with me.
Do you think the average police officer, how many police officers have you dealt with in your life? Do you think the average police officer...
I'm going to give you a good example. I've been in North Carolina with you for about 12 and a half. When I first moved here, I brought my job. I was driving from here to Greensboro 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
They always have a detour on the 40, y'all. Always some construction going on at night.
He's talking about the I-40, yeah.
Yeah, the I-240.
Yeah.
Okay. This one particular night, I hit the detour like everybody else.
Yep.
The sheriff truck is sitting at the stop sign.
Yep.
I come up just like the other 5 cars in front of me did.
Yep.
Come to a complete stop, blinker on, look both ways, engage into my turn to go right to follow the detour.
Yep.
The sheriff pulled out on me as soon as I made the right.
Yep.
This is like 12:30 in the morning, y'all. He pulled out on me and pulled me over. I whipped into the Exxon. The gas station was closed. And when he hopped out, I'm sitting in the car, I get my driver's license, I got my insurance, I hang it out the window like that. How you doing, officer? Everything all right? Where you going? I've been seeing your car come through here. This is a heavily drug traffic highway right here. So what are you doing?
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm in full uniform, man. ID hanging.
Well, that doesn't matter. We talked about this on another podcast where the
I'm just coming from work, sir. I told him straight, I'm coming from work, sir. I said, so what's the problem? Everything all right? Well, let me run your ID first. I'll be back. You just sit down. Like that. So a couple minutes pass. He come back up. He give me back my driver's license and my insurance card and everything. He said, step out of the vehicle. I step out of the vehicle. I'm cool now, y'all. I'm cool.
What do you think would happen
I said, so
if
what's
you didn't
wrong?
step out?
He looked around the car. Oh, your tag cover is too dark. That's why I stopped you. I said, well, I just got the car inspected, sir, as he already saw. I just got the registration updated, so how could the tag cover be too dark? But I left it alone. I said, okay, well, I'll take it off right now, so that way we won't, so how often do you come down here? I said, as many days as you see me traveling. You say you just saw me, sir. You know what I'm saying? You say you've been watching me now. You've been watching me.
He noticed you.
But the thing of it is, a lot of police think that they're going to hit the jackpot just because they stop bros, man.
I'll get back to the statement that I was going to say earlier. Do you feel like police officers are intimidated by white people?
No.
Do you think that...
I would say this. Hold up. Some white people can be intimidating to other officers, so I can't say a complete
I'm talking about they won't be so quick to pull the billy club out on a
They're going to always have a degree of respect for their fellow white man.
Listen, that just goes without saying. There is a double standard in this country. The double standard started when they designated white people and black people.
Amen.
That's the double standard.
Amen.
You don't have to look any further than that. Because this is the only country where they designate people white and black. Do you think that it would change if police officers held each other accountable. Like,
I think that it would change once white people felt that they no longer had the say-so to tell black people what to do.
What would have been your perspective? Now, I know this is like fantasy land and I'm going down.
Come on with it. Come on, go there.
What would be your perspective of the police if, like, when Derek Chauvin was kneeling on George Floyd's neck, if one of those other cops, as soon as he did that, and it was clear that he was attacking this man.
And one of them other
jacked
cops
up Derek Chauvin and fucking arrested him and threw him in the back.
Hey, all you get his ass.
What do you think? What do you think the perception of the police would be?
Man, I think that would have drew a divide in the police, but it would have made it okay for,
I'm talking about
the
public
police.
perception of police.
I get you, but it would have made people go ahead on and officially pick a side.
I want to try to push on to the next, going full circle here. All right, we've talked about minimum sentences, 3 strikes you're out, how it doesn't work. We have a lot of nonviolent criminals doing not only life sentences, there's just a obscure amount of people serving a tremendous amount of time in the prison system, costing taxpayers $31,000+ a year when
big
we could
money.
be big money.
Man.
When we could take that money and use it to do so many other things. We could let people out of prison. How about we don't try to ruin people's life because they made a mistake?
Well, I'm glad you brought that point up, White Bread, because the majority of the white people who get caught up, especially if they're young, most of the judges throw them that courtesy.
Slap on the wrist.
Even if I make you do something that you really don't want to do.
Community
but
service.
I'm going to wipe this from your record so you still have a shot.
Why can't we just do community service?
I mean, even if you don't just
for
do
nonviolent crimes,
even if you put them on probation, just don't label them a criminal.
Probation. How about we try to figure out what is the problem here? Why are you committing?
You know what the problem is, White Bread.
I know what the problem is. Like you said, a lot of people live in this country in survival mode.
That's it.
Okay,
and it's easy to take advantage of, especially, and I'm going to say this, since they know that the black community is so divided and they really don't deal with each other. Mm-hmm. That's why it's easy for these heinous crimes to be committed against them. Just thank God for the video camera phone. Because imagine if this was back there in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Man, this should have been. We wouldn't even need the news.
That's another topic. For
I get what you're saying. I got you, but I'm just doing a little prelude to it.
There's a lot of atrocities that we're going to bring up.
But I want the people, those officers who know that you're working on forces where you feel the pressure of right and wrong every time you're out with, on patrol, or if you're doing, drug, if you're part of the drug squad, the SWAT team, and you're working with people who really don't have the people skill. It needs to be something in place for people to drop a dime on these people and not feel threatened by the police department and by the sergeant and by the district attorney because you got 35 officers who working over here in this particular police precinct that has 200-300 damn complaints because they use excessive force all the time. They're disrespectful. Yep. And they don't give 2 fucks about the security or protecting person or property as it pertains to them black folk, man. You got good white officers. I know, because I know several of them that work here at the Mooresville Police Department. Great people.
Yes.
Great.
I know a lot of cops who are amazing.
Great.
Amazing people.
Davie County, great. But you also have your sour lemons.
I know a
that
few
make
of them
you
too.
Throw the bitter beer face, man. You look like the Budweiser
They
frog.
got into being police officers for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Some people just did it just so they could have the right to get physical.
I'll give you a perfect example, okay? And this goes to, say, teaching. There's some teachers that go into teaching because they actually want to make a difference in a child's life. And then there's some teachers that go into teaching because they want the summer off.
They just want the paycheck, the all year round paycheck.
They want the summer off.
Yeah, they still get paid.
They do it for the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Don't give a damn if your child knows
some people
2 + 2.
Some people become police officers because they see a problem and they want to make a difference. The same as we're trying to make a difference.
Right.
But then there's police officers who become police officers because they were bullied in school and they want to get
I've also seen that you have
sociopaths.
Some people who have joined the police force just to see, and when they see a lot of the luxuries that come with being an officer, because when you become a police, you have a lot more rights than a traditional citizen now.
That's not the way it should be.
It shouldn't be that way, but that's the reality.
In some parts of the country,
we have to be willing to keep it real, because one thing's for sure: don't wait till something happened to your son, your nephew, your niece, your daughter, before now all of a sudden you want things to be fair.
Well, what if so we're gonna get to how this can immediately change. Okay, what can be done to immediately change something here?
I give you a good place that we could start. Since you want to keep these people in jail so long, you could most definitely put in trades in the jail. That way, when these people get out. And
We've spoken about this.
Hey, yeah, we have. But when you let these people out who you've labeled a felon, at least if I get out and I have my electrician certification, I'm able to do roofing, I'm able to do welding. These people can come out and really get an opportunity. But when you don't want to create that opportunity because you want them to come back to your system and make 93 cents a day,
90 cents an hour.
Oh, 90 cents an hour.
That doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better. But how about this? Instead of $31,000 a year in imprisoning people for nonviolent crimes, why don't we take? I'm sure we could probably cut that cost in half if we did a program where maybe the people who were nonviolent criminals maybe had an ankle bracelet on. And they were given an opportunity to go to like you said, trade school. There is a need for tradesmen in this country.
It is.
There is a dire need for general labor.
Shout out Kwame Brown, because Kwame Brown been pushing it.
Good paying jobs too. I'm talking about trade. You learn a trade, you have a skill for life.
A life, man. You able to work for yourself.
You can work for yourself. Any skill, you can start your own any trade. Whether you're a tile man, you're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're a carpenter, you're a welder, you're a whatever. If you learn a trade, you can take that and work for yourself and actually try to chase down what everyone wants is this mythical American dream. And that's how we're going to end this. I think that we had a very good discussion. I think we can get a lot out of this, but I think that we can both agree on that this is a systemic problem that starts with racial profiling. It starts with over-incarceration for nonviolent crimes. It starts with fucking discrimination just every day. You mentioned it earlier. You get discriminated against all the time. You were always bringing up you have endless stories when we talk about this.
And let me say this for the record before we wrap it up, White Bread. This has been a great topic, and I hope that the people who are listening to this, I hope that we've shed a little bit of light up on some things, man. I mean, it's hard because we're tackling something that's been in place long before we got here, before our parents got here. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take all of us to make change. We can't do it just the wheat and white alone. So if what we're saying makes sense, we welcome and we're going to solicit some of you all's opinions to help formulate an idea. We're looking forward to to help formulate an idea, because the people can agree on what's best for the people as long as we're able to talk about it. We're trying to start the first dialogue about it so that way we can start the process of finger pointing and saying, okay, hey, maybe let's look at this. Yeah. Even if Wheat and White Bread walk down to the mayor's office, don't be surprised, because it can happen.
Oh, it will.
Because if they know that we're speaking from the real people's perspective, You understand what I'm saying? Then maybe we will be able to at least start the conversation. Well, we want to thank I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Wheat and White.
Hopefully you got a lot out of
I'm
this.
wheat bread, by the way.
Yep.
I know you look kind of wheatish over there today, man. So I'll be white bread.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be white bread one time. Fuck it. Man, we love y'all. We want to thank everybody who has subscribed thus far.
Yep.
You know,
keep tuning in. We got a lot more topics to come.
If you got something that you want us to tackle,
and we're gonna get better and better as time goes on. You know,
you got something you want us to speak on? Leave it in the comments.
Send a comment. And
subscribe.
we're gonna talk about it.